Hello, everyone. Yeah, think we're having some network glitch there from Ottoman Peter. Good evening, everybody. Wow, pleasant having us all live here tonight. As we all know, my name is Komi Marvin, and I'm glad to have us on. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. I can see those that are online now with us. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. And we have our esteemed guest with us tonight. No other person than Kolawole Omole. I'm going to take him off the screen for now while we do the necessary stuff before he comes in. So, okay. So, Otobong, are you there now?
Yes. I'm just trying to resolve because I was getting a bit of interruption. Okay,
Okay, over to you
it's
now.
actually nice to be live. Yes. So good day, everyone. It has been really awesome having each of us on board, learning. It has been a journey on the issue of finding purpose, and this has been our match series from 360 Leadership Network. For some of us who have been following, we talked about 360 Leadership Network earlier. That 360 Leadership Network is very passionate about trying to develop leaders who are balanced in different spheres of life, leaders who are not just looking at the corporate world, but then who are taking responsibilities for their life. Because if you've been following our social media handles on Facebook at 360 Leadership Network, on Instagram 360
Wow. Wow. We're having very serious network glitch from that side. I think he needs to go out and come in again. Okay. So thank you so much, Otobong. You're having a very serious network glitch. I don't know if that is sorted out now. Otobong, can you hear me now?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm actually wondering because I could hear you very well. I could hear you. I could still hear you. Yes.
Okay, continue now.
Yes. So, and based on the purpose journey, we also said that it's not just enough to discover your purpose.
This is serious. Okay, so as he was saying, we so much apologize for the network glitch we're having tonight. Is an unforeseen circumstance, and it's part of those things we face sometimes. So, like he was saying, we started a mass series, and this purpose discovery, and we've passed through a lot of journey discovering. We first spoke about discovering your purpose, and then we spoke about fear. After discovering your purpose, you need to fight fear to rise above fear and do the things that your purpose deserves you to do. And after that, we talked about creativity. It's not enough to have a wonderful purpose or whatever you want to do, but are you creative around it? You need to be creative enough for the world to be grateful for what you want to do. You need to present your solution in a manner and in a way that society will be grateful for. So we talked about creative. How can you be creative around your purpose? How can you be creative around the things you want to do? So that was one of the things we talked about. And then today we'll be talking about leveraging on networks and relationship for maximum productivity. Someone should be happy right there because this is a wonderful session that will show you how you can connect with people. What is the importance of relationships and networks when it comes to purpose um, uh, uh, um, in pursuance of your purpose? Networks and relationships is very, very, very critical. Someone said something. He said, "In our time of today, in the situation of the world we find ourselves now, The most valuable thing you will have is a community. The most valuable thing you will have is a network, a network of people of like minds. And if you know how to leverage on it, you will make maximum impact, because that is what our word of today stands on: relationships and networks. And that is what we'll be talking about in a couple of minutes and hours we have ahead of us. So I'd like you to stay tuned. And with us tonight, we have a wonderful guest, Kola Wole Omole, someone that is doing amazing over here in Cyprus. I came and I met him here, and he has been a big brother. There's quite a story around how I met him, and that is why network is very important. And you need, like I said the first time, uh, um, God is so much involved in the business of purpose. And there are some persons that He links you to that are very critical as far as your journey of purpose is concerned. I remember the first time I met Kola Wale when I came to the university, and he was in his office, and I saw him. That was the first time I was seeing him. I was like, wow, this young guy as a lecturer in the office and all that. And I saw him sitting on the table, and I asked him for some direction, which he gave to me. And as I was walking out of the office, I had a ministration in my spirit that I'm going to have something to do with the person I just met. And I never knew. I think I've told him as well. I never knew how it was going to happen, because I've not known him before. It was the first time. I'm not even sure we're going to meet again. It's not of my faculty and whatever. But as God we have it, we had to connect in the fellowship, and here we are today. So I'm so glad to meet with Kola Wale Omole. I can see those that are joining us on Facebook, um, on YouTube, and also on the Facebook page of 360 Leadership Network. You're welcome. I'd like you to comment and also share this video, and whatever resonates with you, whatever the speaker says that resonates with you, I'd like you to put it down in the comment section. And we are out for a great session tonight. Stay tuned and follow us as we go. So welcome, Sir Kola Wale Omole. Nice seeing you. We're actually
Well,
in the same
thank you very
country,
much.
but he's like a distance away from me. He's in Goyeli, and I am here in Lefkosha. I don't know if is Goyeli and Lefkosha is the same district.
Well, it's the same city, but different. Should we say different communities? I don't know, but the same cities. The same city,
Oh, okay.
definitely.
Oh, okay, wow, wow, that's great. I can see Professor Akinola. Thank you so much, sir, for being a great motivation and a mentor to the both of us that are here right now. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
sir. He's the president of Patral Community, and he's been a wonderful support in everything that we do. He's someone indeed to connect with. Thank you so much, Prof. We are glad to have you. I can see my brother so much, brother. You've been a great support, and so many other persons, blessed, and the rest that are joining us here. Thank you so much. I want to see you on the comment section, and as we continue tonight. So over to you, sir.
All right. Well, I'm excited to be here. When I received the invitation from um, Mr. Komi Marvin, like I said, we met. I couldn't even remember the day he saw me in my office, but I saw him again in church, and I just knew this is somebody I'm going to relate with, an awesome person and all. So we met, and then we've been friends since then. So today we'll be talking about okay, you all know my name, I guess. My name is Kola Oli, and I love talking. I normally say that, but I don't just talk. I talk things that are very, very important, things that will help people get better, because I know it's really, really important that we all just don't live in this life, but we live a life of impact, a life that, that gives to the next generation, because that's something very, very important. Not a life of, I mean, some people are just here to spend money and to do different things and go. No, we're not just here to do that. As believers, we are called for a greater purpose. We are called to impact the world, to make the world a better place. And because that is important to note. We know that to make that thing happen, we cannot do it in isolation. We cannot do it alone. So when I heard I'm going to be talking about relationship, I was excited because I've always thought about the importance of relationship. Why is it important? Why do I have to watch the people that are around me, the people that are influencing me? Because if you don't watch that, if you are not deliberate about that, then you are not being deliberate about your life, because there are several things that you cannot change until you have changed the people that are in your circle. There are several
Mm,
things you cannot change them until you have changed the people in your circle. So relationship
mm.
is just, in a simple term, is influence on you, people around you. How do they influence you? The people you relate to, the people that have access to you or that you have access to. So in simple term, that's what relationship is. And if you
Wow.
can understand this reality, that sometimes we want to complicate things, and it's just as simple as people who can influence you, who can have access to your heart, who can have access to your space, and then who can have access to your time and family. That's
Okay.
what
Yeah,
relationship is.
before wow, thank you so much, sir. Before you said something that was very striking, that you cannot do it alone. No matter how brilliant, no matter how bold, no matter how intelligent, no matter how you think you're the center of all wealth of knowledge, you cannot carry on your purpose and your assignments in life alone. I said
Definitely.
something that even on an island, nobody is an island.
Definitely.
So even in this island that we are now, nobody is an island. Yes. So you
Oh,
will
but
certainly need somebody to be there for you. You certainly have to connect with people in a very strategic way to bring out the things that you want to do. Wow, thank you so much. If you're watching us, I would like you to show your presence in the comment section. Like this video, don't just pass by. Ensure you support by liking this video, sharing it, and showing your presence in the comment section. I can see those that are commenting. Thank you so much. So, okay, continue, sir. Continue, sir. We have some
all right.
questions
So
for you, but just
that's a good point you made. I just want to buttress that a little. You see, relationship is like a blessing from God. It's a blessing from God to
mm,
humanity, because God knows the way we are made, and He made us social. If you've heard of social insect, social animal, we are social beings. We are people who cannot even do a thing alone. I'm telling you. If you study
mm,
sociology and you've done some things in sociology, they say a man, when he's isolated, is they could not even, I can't define what a man is like when he's isolated, when he's just alone. If you want to punish a man, just go.
mm.
I don't know if you watch prison movies and all. When somebody is doing wrong
Yeah,
things, when a prisoner is doing wrong, you
Yeah.
just go and isolate him, put him in isolation, just
yeah.
cover him there for 1 week or something. That's is like the greatest punishment you can give to a man. Just isolate him,
Mm,
cut him from every form of influence, because man is not made like that. We are made to socialize. We are made to relate
yes.
with people. We are made to be influenced
Mm,
by people. And now when you understand that,
mm,
you know that if this is how I am made, then you should know that that will shape the way I live my life. So the people that have access to me or to my life or to everything I do, they can shape the way I live my life. They can shape the outcome of my destiny or of my life. Now, destiny is, there's a destiny for us in Christ, and we know that the destiny is a good one. Now, if you don't relate with the right set of people, even that good destiny, that good destination, destiny just means destination, what you are going to accomplish at the end of things. Now, if you are not relating with the right set of people, there's no way you are going to get to that destination that God has in plan for you to get to. There are people that will help you to get there. Now, somebody says, I am a self-made millionaire or something like that. There is really nothing like that. There's no way you can be a self-made millionaire or self-made influential person. No, we all function amidst other persons. That's how we function. We function in socialization, or when we relate with people. So they influence us, we influence them back. So that's why if we understand this reality, then we know that relationship is very important. Now, if you now understand that it's very important, then you want to pay attention to it. You want to know, how do I make this thing work for me? this thing called relationship. How do I make it work for me? Because that's exactly why we are here today. How do I leverage relationship, to get the best that I should get in life, to make maximum impact, to transform the world in the unique way that only me can transform it. So there's a purpose for each of us. All of us have a purpose. We have a reason why we are here, and that's something I can talk about for long. But for tonight, let's just stick it to a relationship. But when you understand your purpose, it will define so many things. I was listening to Dr. Miles Monroe of blessed memory. I was listening to him. I think it's about more than 2 years ago now. But that message stuck with me. I mean, he said, purpose will define your friends. Purpose will define how you use your time. Purpose will define even the movies you watch. When we understand our purpose and the importance of purpose in fulfilling what God called us to do in this life, then we will know that purpose should define so many things about us. Now, if you allow purpose to define the friends you have, then you are on your way to fulfilling what God wants you to have. Now, you can't just say, okay, my purpose is to be a minister, and then the people who are your closest friend or who are influencing you are people who are not in that line, who cannot even impact you in that direction. I mean, how does that help you? How will that ever help you to make something happen in life? So when you have a purpose, when you have defined or discovered your purpose, you know what God wants you to do, then let that define the kind of people that you even allow in your space. Let that define your relationship. And now when you have that relationship, then there is a way, in which you can leverage that relationship to make the best that God wants you to do in this life happen. So there's a way you can leverage that, and that's what we are going to talk about this evening. How do you leverage that? How do you leverage those people, to make it happen? And the first thing I want to let you know, don't let it come to your mind that leverage is you taking advantage of somebody in the negative way. No. Yeah. You see, because that's really very important, because the way we do business right now, so when you hear the word leverage, it's more about take advantage of this,
advantage. Exactly.
Yeah. So take advantage of this or take, no. See, let me tell you something. The way to get the best of your relationship, to get the best juice of your relationship, is to be the person, who is going to invest much in that relationship. Exactly. See, if you invest, just like we normally say, respect is reciprocal and all. This one, giving is going to be reciprocated. If you have a friend and you are influencing that friend in the right direction, before you know, the friend will start influencing you also in the right direction. If you are able to give to the person, before you know, the person will be able to give back to you. See, it's the same principle that God used to save our soul. I mean, man couldn't have loved God. Man couldn't have want to come to God for salvation. But God had to do something. He had to go first. You understand? So that's the principle of going first. Be the person going first. You should learn how to go first. Don't always be the person at the receiving end. In my language, they call it mua, bring. There's no ba, like take. There's a take. We have take and bring. So you should not always be the person who says bring. What are you giving out to? Have you said take? So when you are giving, you are able to receive back. So what did God give? God gave a son and he received many sons. It's more like an investment. It's an investment of love. You understand? So when in your relationship, if you understand what an investment of love is, you will get the best of your relationship. You will get the best of the people around you. You will be able to get the best of help. See, it doesn't matter what level you are or whatever you plan to achieve. If you don't have people that will support you, you cannot go far. I say alone. I say alone we can go fast, but together we can go far.
We can go further. Now, yes.
Exactly. So the goal is not just to go fast.
Yes,
the goal is to go further, to go far, as far as you can go. And all of us know already, that there's a limit to how long, I mean, number of years we are going to live in this world. We are not going to be here forever. So if you understand that, then you understand that purpose is very important. And then when you
Yes.
understand purpose, then you understand that relationship is even
Very
super important
instrumental.
in achieving
Yes.
our purpose. You understand? So
Exactly.
now I'm
Wow,
going to,
wow, wow. Thank you so much, sir. You've said so many things in just one spot. And I just had to break the transmission because the frequency was supersonic.
Exactly.
So
thank
I
you
had
That's a
very
to
much.
lot
just
of
break
Thank
the
you
stuff.
very much.
transmission. So the people can digest it. My God, you said so many things that is just literally breaking some new pulse in my brain right now. I tell you
Exactly.
how that
Exactly.
relationship is not a one-way thing. You have to give, and if you influence somebody positively, certainly that person is going to return a positive vibe to you.
Exactly.
Wow, wow. Thank you
Exactly.
so much. And
Exactly.
if you're just joining us, we are speaking with, we have Kola Wole Omole here with us all the way from Cyprus as well. He has been a blessing to us, talking about leveraging relationship and network for productivity. And it's been a powerful study. He just started, and the fire is everywhere. Everybody's feeling it. I can see people in the comment section. So if you're just joining us, ensure you like this video, you share it,
Yeah.
you you comment
Exactly.
whatever resonates with you, whatever word you hear that resonates with you. Ensure you comment, and together we'll learn so much tonight. So over to you,
Exactly.
Oti Otobong. Is there any
All right.
question, any further question for
All
him?
right. There are a lot. There is so much good, and I must really. I am very
So
thankful
much.
for Mr. Kolawole for the energy he's really transmitting. It's something I'm very happy about, and I
I'm
also
telling
apologize
you,
for
I'm
earlier
telling you.
because I was using a mobile hotspot, so some calls were coming in and it was interrupting the network, so I had to send some messages out. So
Okay, sir.
if we've been following the series so far, the first day we talked about purpose itself. The next day we talked about the issue of creativity. Okay, creativity came after we talked about. We spoke with Mr.
Fear.
Timilayan, where he was telling us
Yes.
about how to overcome fear, and then Esther spoke to us about creativity. All these are all structures that will help us to leverage the most out of finding purpose itself. So it's more like a business transaction. You understand the business, but then you don't just rush into the investment. You have to get investors. So relationship is more like getting investors into the dream or your purpose itself. So when it comes to leveraging relationships, because you actually said something about leverage. When you said you mean that you are using the word leverage, you don't mean it in the sense of taking advantage. Of course, for those of us who are watching, I think when he says leverage, it's more like how to make good use of the opportunity that relationships actually avail. So how can someone spot relationships that are relevant to their purpose? Because the truth of the matter is that there will always be good persons. There will always be good friends. But the thing is that it's not every relationship necessarily. Some of them might not be bad, but some of them might not be exclusively relevant to where we are going to. So how can we differentiate? Because it's very easy to spot good and evil. So how can we differentiate between good and best? How can someone differentiate and understand what is very relevant to their journeys?
Well, that's an awesome question. You see, I think I love the question that is even coming, because the question makes the whole journey interesting. And you see,
Yeah,
you said, how can you differentiate between good and best? And that's a very good
exactly.
one. It's not just because for us right now, we are, I believe, the majority of people who are watching right now, I believe that there are people who are serious about making God proud, with their lives.
Exactly.
Now, if we have such people, then obviously, what is obviously bad, we avoid, right?
Yes, yes.
The challenge we may be having is what is best for me out of these two good
Exactly.
options. So to
Exactly.
differentiate between good and best is that, one, you must even know your own self, know who you are. Because if you don't start from knowing who you are and what your purpose is, you see every road as a road. You see every person, every good person, as the people that should be able to penetrate your space and have influence on you. So if you know who you are, then you can discover who, or look for who is doing what you are doing or what you want to do. Because if you don't know who you are or what you are called to do, it will be very hard for you to really pursue the right thing, to know the best, from the good. So the best from the good is known by working with people of the same clan, of the same purpose with you. You have to be specific. It has to be as specific as possible. It is, it is not just many. It's not 3, 4, 5. No, you should be specific about it. What exactly are you here for? I was speaking with one of my mentors earlier this week, and I was telling him about an event I'm going to host soon. And then it was like, a lot of programs are out there. Now, what is your own mission? And why is this event going? How is this event going to corroborate, or how is it going to help that mission to be fulfilled? You understand? So the same thing you look at in friendship. What is your mission in life as a person? And now, this person, how is this person going to help in the mission? Everybody is important. Don't get me wrong. Everybody, see, I have a lot of friends. I have people all around me, but there are some people that I can relate with at different times of the day. That I can go with, I can be with them alone. I can be on a call with them for hours, not just everybody. We shouldn't just, spend energy. We have limited energy also. I hope we know that. Just like we have limited time, we also have limited energy. We are not going to be as strong as we are right now forever. So some of our fathers are 60, 70 right now. They cannot run like they used to run. They cannot do some things like they used to do. So this energy that you have daily, this very powerful energy, the glory of the youth is their strength. That strength that you have right now, what are you spending it on? Who are you spending it with? In the positive direction. So when you are able to know who you are, what you are called to do, it helps you to be able to define who is best for you as as a friend who should be able to influence you. You should have a friend who should be able to influence. There are some people that you shouldn't allow them to influence you. You can keep them around for many other things, being able to help them. And I'm going to talk briefly when we have a little time soon. I'm going to talk briefly about the kind of people you should have as in relationship, to be able to leverage your relationship for maximum impact. Let me just go straight into it right now. To be able to leverage your relationship for maximum impact, there are some 3 kind of people that should be in your circle of relationship. You should have mentors, you should have mates, and then you should have mentees. The 3 M's. I call them the 3 M's. The mentors should be there. I mean, these are people who are not just older than you in age, but they are older than you when it comes to impact, when it comes to doing that thing in that line you want to do them. You should have them, people that they can correct you. They can tell you you are doing the wrong thing. They can say, come and meet me right now at this place. Or they can instruct you. They can correct you and they can challenge you. So those are your mentors. Those people should be in your circle of relationship. You should respect them. You should be able to relate with them and ask questions from them at any time. And you should be loyal to them. Because if you are not loyal to them, there's no way they can, give their life to you. Mentors also have their own life. I hope we know that. So if you have mentors in your life, you should always think, how can I help this my mentor? I said it the other time. Don't be a bring person. Even if your mentor is richer than you, has all the stuff than you, has more children than you do, you should ask yourself, how can I sow into the life of this my mentor?
Something you can actually add.
Exactly. There must be something, no matter how small, So this previous week, I mean, by God's grace, I saw an advert and I love the wristwatch and all. So what did I do? I say, please, can you deliver one of these to this person? He's like a mentor to me. And I just received a call from him yesterday. The wristwatch is not as if it's a very costly wristwatch. Something so small. I mean, it's not so costly, but so nice. And he called me. I mean, it was like, wow, like, Kolaole, you did this. And then he was praying for me and instructing me again. See, so when you have mentors in your life, don't always say, why is this mentor not creating time for me now? Why is he not doing this? This mentor is not even worth to be my mentor. How have you made yourself useful to the person? How have you made yourself, visible also to the person? Visible in the sense that when he is doing something, are you helping him? In his, even if it's to publicize his events, Even if it's to publicize his business, make people know his business. Those are the ways you can help your own mentor. Ask yourself, how can I help my mentor? How can I impact him too? Do you know we can also impact our mentors? We can impact them.
Why not?
You can you can be a mentor to their own children. They'll be trying to be a mentor to their own children, but when you have access to their children, you can pray for their children. You can instruct their children, correct their children also. So ask yourself, how can I impact my mentors? Because this will give you visibility. They will be able to see that this person is not just here to drain me. Because everybody don't want anybody to drain them. Everybody is trying to conserve their energy, to keep their energy, because there's so much to do in this life. So if anybody sees you as a parasite, if you are seen as a parasite, everybody will just keep trying to dodge you. So ask yourself, how can I not be a parasite to my mentor? As much as I'm trying to learn from them, how can I also impact them? No matter how small. Those are for mentors. Then for mates, these are people in your own level. The people you can always, you can call them in the middle of the night. You can say, bros, I'm doing a program this day. I don't know a speaker. I don't know anybody to come. I want you to come and do it. These are your mates. There are people you can relate with. You guys can correct one another. You can do stuff together. Those are people in your own level right now, and you should respect them, because respect is important. In relationship, give them the respect that they deserve. That you guys are mates does not mean you should just talk to them anyhow. They have some things that they are better at than you. You have some things that you are better at than them. But that's why collaboration is very important. See, one of the important things in leveraging relationship is learn to collaborate. I mean, all of us want to take all the glory for ourselves. I've fallen a victim of this for many years. I'm telling you, I host events and all, and most of the time I'm just thinking all alone. I'm just trying to do the things all alone, trying to when there are people who are out there who are willing to help because of who you are to them. So you collaborate with them, you relate with them, and as you are collaborating, what are you doing? You are improving yourself, you are improving the person, and much more than the two, you are improving your relationship.
Exactly.
Did you see that? See, improving your relationship, you have to keep investing in your relationship. Let it keep getting stronger, because a time is coming when you can be weak, or you can even be absent. That person will come out for you. I mean, will come and stand in for you. Do you understand?
Sometimes they might not necessarily have what it takes to help you rise, but they might know someone who can help you rise.
Awesome. You see that? So they might know someone. They might not even have all it takes to really help you rise, but they may know someone who can help you rise. That's an awesome point. Then the third one is your mentees. Who says you cannot learn from them? I've learned a whole lot of things. There's this wonderful guy that I've known. His name is Toby. I've known him for years now, and since the day I met him, I know there's something great about this guy. So I related. I mean, he came to me, we started talking, and we've been friends since then. Like he sees himself as a son and all those kind of things. Me, I don't like using son and father thing. I prefer to say that we are influencing one another. So till today, I've learned a whole lot from him. He is like somebody who follows me, who asks questions from me, who wants to get advice and all those things from me. But I've learned a lot from him. So if you have mentors and you have mates and you don't have mentees, you are not yet doing what you are supposed to do, because your life is not just supposed to be taking and taking and taking. You should have people you're also depositing something into. Depositing to them.
That you are giving out.
Exactly. It's really very, very important. If you are just taking and you are not giving out, I mean, you're just going to be constipated. I mean, you have constipation. You see, so
like
that's really,
and you're not exclusive.
Yes,
exactly.
And that's really very important. So coming back to that question, how do I separate the best from the? So that, especially when it comes to mate and mentees, you should not, you cannot just give your life to everybody. You have to understand that early. It is very, very important. Everybody cannot be in your circle of influence. You are going to be torn apart. You understand? So define what your purpose is. See, that's number one thing for everything in this life. Define what your purpose is. Define what your energy is. Define what you love to do. Now, if you do all this definition, then look around, look around with the eyes of purpose. Let me say it that way. And I wanted to say the eyes of faith. Awesome. You should look around with the eyes of faith, but also look around now with the eyes of purpose. Who are the people?
Exactly.
Who are the people? Or who is that one or two or three persons who is doing this person? Now, don't forget, we are believers also. So when you are choosing a mentor or people who enters your circle of influence, you don't just want to choose somebody who is good, but you if you have the opportunity, if you are blessed, let me say it that way, should choose somebody who is not just good, but who is also a believer, who is not going to change your value, turn it all around just because it's trying to mentor you, So it's always good to have that. Now, am I saying you shouldn't learn from unbelievers? No. I have several unbelievers. I watch their videos. I try to listen to them. I read their books and all. But who are the people that can influence your value? Then there should be people who are not just doing well in that thing you want to do, but who are also doing well in the faith that you hold so dearly. That's very, very important.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. It's been an impactful session, leveraging on networks and relationship for maximum productivity. And I don't think we would have had any other good speaker than Kola Wole or Mole. Thank you so much. It's been impactful. And for those that are just joining us, our speaker tonight is Kola Wole or Mole. Yes, he's a very, very, very audible speaker. Just as you can see, a lot of fire is dropping around all as we are all. So it's been a wonderful session. And like I said, if you're just joining us, ensure you like the video, ensure you comment. I can see some persons in the comment section. Ensure you comment, you share the video, and like as we go on. We have quite some questions ahead to ask and some discussions before we call it a day. So quickly over to you, Otobon.
Yeah, so you've actually said so much, I think sometimes when the devil knows that as believers, we already know what is bad. So he's no more trying to convince us, because he's not trying to reduce the options that are actually available to actually make sure that we don't hit best. Because sometimes God's purpose for some persons is to actually be an estate. But when the devil knows that he can't, that you are so dogged that you won't miss the estate, he tries to negotiate with you to choose a bungalow instead. And then I think another example of what you just answered and what you said so far, if I can actually put it in context, is like if we look at the personality of Jesus, he had so many disciples. On Pentecost, we heard of the 120. On a particular day, we heard of the 70. We also know of the 12. But even among the 12, he had the 3. So there must be this card that we are not saying we should not relate to every single person, but then depending on the necessity and the requirement of our callings, we should know where each person belongs in the cadre of where we're actually going to. So it helps us to actually push our journeys further. From what you said, that is a very good fit of where I can also put that story. And then when it comes to the issue of relationships and connecting with persons, there's this pattern I'm seeing among young persons in the country. There's this sweet thing about beefing. Me and how we dey beef, me and him with the beef. We enjoy this kind of things, having problem with people. You see some person's status is like they are always continually bitter. Some of them on their status on WhatsApp, you'll be seeing things like bad energy, or it's so much. So for a young person who is actually coming up, who is actually trying to understand clarity of purpose, because even though we say let us understand our purpose, let us find clarity, because from what you say, that's where it starts from, finding clarity. And before we can actually find clarity,
Wow, I think
we can pick your voice again.
Yeah, I think he's having a glitch. You need to come back. Okay, before he comes back, I think we have a question. We have someone that asked a question. While we wait for Trouble to come back for that, we have someone that had a question, had to ask a question. I don't know if you can see it on your screen there.
Okay.
Yeah.
What happens if the
Continue
relationship
again.
is toxic and you are benefiting, and that relationship can lead you to purpose? Right?
He
That's the
said,
question you're talking about, right?
yeah, yeah, he said, what happens if the relationship is toxic and you are benefiting, and that relationship can lead to purpose? It's kind of a tricky
Uh,
question.
mm.
I don't know if you can
Well,
understand that. That okay?
okay, like what I'm going to say about that is this. I mean, you said the relationship is toxic and
Yeah,
you are
you are
benefiting from
benefiting.
it at the same time. So
Mm,
you need
mm.
to
So
measure, you need to
I think he's asking if you have a toxic relationship, you are actually benefiting from it. Can that relationship lead to purpose? I think that's kind of what he's asking. A
well, I
toxic
mean that
relationship
that
that you
that
benefit from.
that question, if that's what the person is asking, then the person would be the person to
Mm,
answer it, because you need to know who the person is and what your own purpose is, but
exactly.
let me bring the question back to what I another way I think the person may also be thinking, like a toxic relationship, and the same toxic relationship is also benefiting you. You need to now measure. You need to measure now which one is higher, the toxicity or the benefit. I mean the benefit. Now, if the
The
toxicity is
benefit.
higher, I would just encourage you to try and put some kind of level of barrier, so that that toxicity will not penetrate you. Because let me tell you one thing about influence. Influence has both is good and the bad side. Just
Mm,
like somebody can influence you in the good way, even that bad thing you don't want to pick up from a friend, if that person is indeed close to you, you will not know the time when you start taking it as a norm, when you start saying, okay, maybe it's not really bad, all those kind of things. So if it is toxic, you should put a level of barrier. I mean, barrier can be thick, it can be lean, it can be very, it can be taken away and all. So try and measure. Just I love what Otto Bong said earlier. Define your circle, define it, and make the circle smaller and smaller and smaller. So if that relationship is actually toxic, because toxic is a big word, and toxic can actually influence you too, and then you become a toxic person also. So if that toxicity is huge, and if that kind of toxicity is something that can poison your own goodness, let me say it in that way, you
mm,
should be careful. Try and put a barrier, no matter how thin, at least put that, so that that kind of toxicity will not be impacted on you.
Yeah,
That's a simple advice I can give. Or I
exactly.
mean, if you say it can, if you say it can lead you to purpose, I think only the person will be able to say more about that. But when toxicity is happening, the result is always not very good. So just be careful
Yeah,
about that.
exactly.
wow, wow.
Sorry,
Thank you
I
so
got interrupted at some point too.
much. So
Yeah,
if you're joining us, if you're just joining us, and our topic today is leveraging your relationships and network for maximum productivity. So if you have a question for our speaker tonight, ensure you drop it in the comment section, and
yeah.
we'll certainly come by to ask it. So ensure you
Okay,
also like the video and share it as well, so
please do
much more
like,
persons
follow our
can benefit
pages
from
on different
it.
platforms.
Exactly.
We'll appreciate that. So
Thank you
I
so much.
have I actually have a very good question I want to ask, not just the speaker today, who is Mr. Omole Kolawole, and I also asked Sir Marvin. There's actually questions
Okay.
for both of you, which I feel that we are going to really leverage on. So Olakule Shoriyan said something. That is, before I come to that question, I'll ask a question first to the speaker. So he said something about, and I really want your answer. I would love it to really give clarity to a lot of young persons out there. He said that at the highest cadre of power and influence, you really do not have enemies. What you have is a conflict of interest. So if Russia and the United States are in front of us, you can say they are enemies, for instance. But when they have a common obstacle, they come together to make sure they remove that obstacle in order to move. So you might not really say they love themselves or they like themselves, but then because of a common problem, they have to just come to solve that particular problem and then move on. So when it comes to leveraging relationships, I know that sometimes we meet people that we don't necessarily like. We meet people that we don't necessarily love. we meet people who are who some of their belief systems are kind of contrary to our belief systems. How do you negotiate to gain or glean from their strength or from their gifts? Because you always meet someone who is more intelligent, someone who is more experienced, someone who has more opportunities than us, someone who has exposure that is very necessary to where we are going to. But sometimes, even though we say we must be equally yoked with believers, but then most times you meet people whose way of living is in so many ways very, very contrary to, like,
conflicts with yours.
yeah, conflicts, not necessarily conflict so much to a point that you like totally disagree with them, but there are just a lot of things about them that you don't like. But for the sake of, they are a channel, or they are a dot where you are going to, what is your advice? How can we leverage such relationships?
All right. Okay. Am I coming out first? Okay. Let me just
Yeah,
go on. Like, okay. There's something I'm going to say about relationship. Like, I kind of expand the word relationship, and I'm going to say a
yeah,
few things there. And that these things I'm going to mention, either you are a Christian or you are a Muslim, or you are relating with somebody of the same faith or another faith, they are very, very useful. You know. So they say, and I think it's a kind of the answer to the question you are asking. But let me first give an answer before we go into that. Now, one of the answer I will first give is this: you need to respect people's values,
exactly,
people's choice.
exactly.
You know, I mean, I am a believer, but I got a lot of friends who are not believers, Muslims and all. Now,
Yeah,
are they my friends to a point where they can influence my own core values, like my especially faith? No, like I've gotten myself so soaked with faith and with friends who are full of faith, to the point
yeah,
that I always have a community to go to when it comes to faith. You understand? So if you know what you are doing, that's that's why I said it's always come back to the question: do you know what you are doing, what you are made for? Why? I mean, what you are called to do in this life. So I have what I am called to do. I know who I am as a believer. So I wouldn't allow some things to influence me, but I would allow people, even if they are not believers, even if they don't have the same, some of the values that I have, but they have some of the qualities that I am trying to build, maybe as a professional, or maybe as somebody who is going to be a thought leader and all. And if they have those qualities, I must be, if I want to be their friend, to be able to gain and learn some of those things, there is a way I have to live. And I have to respect them. That's number one thing. It's not my job to condemn anybody. It's not my job, even as a believer. We are not called to condemn people. Jesus Christ never condemned anybody. He influenced
yeah,
them. You understand? So the first thing we must know as believers is that we are not called to judge anybody or to condemn anybody. So respect whatever they have chosen. You understand? Whatever they have chosen to do. Yes, in your own space. For example, if somebody comes to greet me in my house, or they come to greet me in my house, there is a way of doing things in my own house. Now, the person should also respect me in my own house. You understand what I'm trying to say? So, but
yeah,
if I am in their space and they are doing whatever they are doing, I should learn to, put myself in a position that I will not allow that thing to influence me. How do I do that? It's important to have a circle. If you don't have
exactly.
a circle of people
I
that you
think it
talk
just
about
boils
faith,
down to circle at the end of the day. It just boils down to having
that's just
Very
the
circles at
thing.
the
true.
end of the day.
So
Very true.
when you leave the community of folks who are not in that kind of same value or same faith as you, and you've gotten
Yeah,
whatever you want to get from them, I mean, you guys do business together, you do transactions together, always come back to your circle. People who
yeah,
can talk to you, like who you can
yeah,
relate to. See, many of
Mm.
us young people, we've run into several errors because we don't have people we can talk to. We are so secretive, we don't want to open ourselves up and all those kind of things. Now,
exactly.
if you have a circle of people who are not there to condemn you, who are not there
Confident.
to they are confident, they are not there to condemn you or tear you apart, you can always come and relate with them. You can always relate with them. So don't come and destroy somebody else because the person is not of your faith or of your value. No, that's not your job. It's not our job to hate on people. You understand? Now, the way you live your life now, when you have an opportunity to converse outside of work, I mean, this is another mistake people make. You are in a workspace and you are supposed to be doing work at a particular time, and then you are talking to somebody about, let's say about Jesus, right? And he's not allowed even at that time. Why not wait till break time? Why not wait till that time when you guys are hanging out? You understand? So there are spaces, opportunity for us to talk about Jesus. Even you don't have to come and condemn anybody. If we preach the real gospel, do you know the real gospel doesn't condemn people? So I can even still relate with people jokingly, in a way or the other, and all without condemning them. So how do I relate to them? Such people, how do I relate to them? I shouldn't condemn them. Everybody has a wall around them. When they sense, when they smell it, that this person is here to condemn me or to destroy me, they will build a wall around themselves for you. You won't be able to even reach them. You won't be able to learn from them. You won't be able to even give to them. You understand? So that's the first thing. Don't be you are not called into the ministry of condemnation. We believers must really understand that. It's really very important, and that's it. We are called to reconcile people, to influence them, to teach them the word of God. I don't know if that answered the question before I go into this other thing I said I have. Okay.
Wow.
Now, it does.
You've said it. You've said it all. And just to add a few things to it. Number one, just like you said, respect people. Because as long as you're on the journey of life, you will certainly meet those that have conflicting interests with you, conflicting faiths, that are on far right while you're on the far left or whatever. So you must certainly meet people like that on the journey of life. But you must be able to respect people's opinion. You don't always want to win people on your side and compete with them. No, respect people's opinion. They were persons before you met them. They were individuals before you met them, and you must respect that fact and appreciate their journey so far. And also, living with persons like that, you must have a superior intelligence on how to live with them.
Exactly.
That will make you get the best from them without you hurting them and without them hurting you. And it's a theory I call eat the flesh and throw away the bone. Yes. So, no matter how toxic anybody is, there is a good part in that person. There is something good you can get from that person. It might be your boss in the office, it might be your colleagues in class, and there's a time you want to ask questions to your colleague in class. Your boss, you will need your boss for one thing or the other. So you must learn the way to live with them and eat the flesh that comes from that relationship and throw away the bone. Don't swallow the bone to hang in your throat and you begin to react in ways you shouldn't. So these are some ways you
Exactly. I think before we come back to your part B of the answer, I think from what I've gleaned so far from what has been said, one of the things I find very, should I say, amusing about Christianity is the fact that Christ said that he's sending us as sheep among wolves. How do you send? I think he is the Lion of the tribe of Judah. He should have been sending us as lion among wolves, but now he's sending us as sheep among wolves. That means at this point in time, we require superior wisdom for negotiation, superior wisdom to be able to negotiate among the wolves so that we stay alive and survive. So there's a wisdom that enables interaction such that Jesus Christ was able to speak with the tax collectors. He didn't have any issues with them. He didn't have any problem with them. He was loved by the unbelievers and they were receiving his gospel. He was able to influence and change things in a nation of people whose belief in the Judaic system was so strong that nothing could even convince them. But those were the same persons who wanted him to become king because of he was able to communicate his strong belief systems as a sheep, even among wolves. So I think wisdom is actually required, just like Mr. Komi said. So you were saying something that you actually add a part B to what you were saying.
All right. So thank you very much. I mean, I'm learning a whole lot of things, as I'm conversing with you guys, and you guys have been an awesome host, awesome host and all. I just let me mention this so quickly. As we're talking about respecting people and honoring them, that doesn't mean you shouldn't be loud about your own values too.
Exactly.
Because I really need to mention that, and we need to nail that to your wall or whatever. You have to be loud, because let me tell you, the one of the mechanism of influencing anybody is amplifying your voice. You understand? So this is what the world is using right now. They are for example, let's talk about gayism or lesbianism, all this kind of thing. Do you know how much they're amplifying it right now? Every movie you watch right now, it has to be portrayed. The good person in that movie is the person that is going to be the gay. The bad person in that movie is the person that is going to be the straight. They are trying to amplify it. They are trying to. So you as a person too, you should be able to voice out your value. So because we meet people every day who are not having the same value or the same faith with us, they may do something like recently something happened and this person just did something. There are some people who take money as if is the highest thing in the world and all those kind of things. So this person called me and I couldn't pick the call. So the person thinks it's because of money I didn't pick the call. You understand? And so I needed to make it clear to the person that but that you are supposed to give me money and you are not calling and I'm not picking the call does not mean it's because of that. I was on a call, and because I was on a call, I didn't see that call. I said, God forbid that I, because of money, avoid people or look down on people. God forbid. Even if somebody is owing me the world when it comes to money, I can never look down on anybody because of money. You understand? So that is what did I just do there? I amplified my own value. I made him know that everything is not money for me. Relationship is even higher than money. Exactly. Am I going to make money? Yes, I'm going to make money, but we are going to have clear terms when it comes to us making money. You understand what I'm trying to say? So don't be mute about your value. I don't want them to know. No. Amplify it. Jesus Christ is so loud about his value. Paul is so loud about his value, and the disciples, that's how they were able to keep faith for us. So if we are going to keep faith for the world, for the children that are coming, I say this a lot in botany class when I was in the university. That was 100 level, and that thing stayed with me till today. It told us that we did not inherit the environment from our ancestors. We borrowed it from our children. I mean, it's something to really think about. It's very powerful. Now, if we borrowed it from our children, they are trying to tell us that you should return it back to them in a better way. We shouldn't just, that's kill all the animals in the world, cut all the trees in the world. How are our children going to be preserved? You understand? So all these things is very, very important, and we have to be loud with our values, our Christian values, our faith-filled values, the things that are very important for us and for the generation to come. We should be loud about them, but we should not now come and disrespect other persons in when we are trying to be loud about them. All right, so that's the point I wanted to make. And then the second part I was talking about is I just expanded the word relationship, and if you can use this point, I'm just going to mention them briefly because of time. I think Mr. Comey is looking at me some kind now that Baba, time is going. And I love the way Mr. Otobong is looking at me. He's looking at me like, Baba, continue. Don't mind him.
I think we are trying to provide balance.
Yes. So I'm going to be in the middle of both. All right. So, but I think it's important I mention this, right? So when you look at the word relationship, for R, I wrote reliability and respect. You have to be reliable. You see, if for you to get the best of a relationship, the person must have seen you as a reliable person. So you have to learn to be reliable. Learn to be there for your friend, for the person who is your friend. Now, a friend in need, they say, is a friend indeed. Now, if you are not a friend in need, when that person needs you, many times because of our world right now, when they say somebody is in need, we're always thinking it's money. It doesn't have to be money. It can be time. It can just be a time to share love and to talk about something that will make the person smile and all those kind of things. A time when the person is stressed and the person just needs a help, a prayer, all those kind of things, So you should be a reliable person for you to be able to get the best. See, I told you the other time, what you sow is what you will reap. It's just that after you have sown it, it comes out in multiple fold. So if you sow reliability, you are going to reap reliability multiple fold. It doesn't have to be from that person. Somebody, I know somebody is thinking now, what about some people you've done good things to, and then they pay you in bad thing? Keep doing good. I was sharing with somebody 2 days ago, and the person was like, now she's feeling like not trusting people anymore. I'm like, no, don't ever let it happen to you that you allow people's action or reaction or responses stop your own person. Your own person is good. Don't change that because of somebody's error or mistake. And I told her the story of a man and a snake. And I don't know if you guys have read that before. A snake beat that man, and the man just removed the snake and allowed the snake to go. So somebody was like, how would a snake beat you and then you did not kill the snake and all? So the man said, it is the nature of the snake to bite. It is my own nature to nurture, to love. So he said, I will not allow his own wickedness change my own good. So be reliable, be a good person to people, even if people are not paying or repaying you well in your goodness. Be a good person. It will always come back to you. We're on earth. The way it is, just the way the world is structured, it will come back to you. It may not be from that same person, but from other persons. That's reliability. E is be an example. Be an example of what you want in that relationship. I already told us, don't be a bring person. Now, these things I'm mentioning here are things that you can use both for a Christian relationship and a relationship with other person, right? Be an example. Be an example to that person. Example of love, example of sacrifice, example of goodness, example of strictness also when it's needed, example of integrity, example of correction and instruction. Be somebody who is an example. Let that person, I was reading, you guys should check it out. This Amazon stakeholders letter from 1997. So the year 1999, or I think 1998, it was talking about what they look at to employ people. And it says, we only employ people that we admire. Can you see that? So they employ people that they admire. So be a friend that your friend can admire because you are an example to the person. You understand what I'm saying? So the L part is loyalty. Be loyal. I don't need to talk much about that. Just be loyal. Be a loyal friend to your mentor, to your mate, or to your mentees. Remember the 3 M's I talked about earlier. If you are loyal to your mentors, they will give back to you. If you are loyal to your mates, they will give back to you. The same thing are your mentees. Then affirmation. I wrote affirm here. Be generous with praise. Be very generous with praise. When you see your friend doing what is good, affirm them. Be generous to say, wow, that is awesome. Wow, promote them. Be generous with your praise. Be generous with good words, with good feedbacks. If you don't do that, you are not going to, sow a seed. You're going to sow a seed of goodness into them. You understand? So when they are doing well, when they are looking good, say, wow, you are looking good, or you are doing great. Be very generous with praise. That's affirmation. Can you guys still hear me, please? Let me know if you can hear me. All right. So the T is you have to be truthful. You have to be truthful. We have to be open. Truthfulness is very, very important. Let me just go very fast. The I is inspire. Be able to inspire him. Inspiration. The O is open-hearted. Be vulnerable sometimes. Open yourself up. Open your heart. Let's relate with one another. The N, don't criticize. We are not called to criticize. I mentioned that earlier. We are not called into the ministry of condemnation. So no criticism, no condemnation, just correction and instruction, helping one another to grow. That is very, very important. Then this S, I wanted to write something else, but I said, no, let me put it as spirituality. We have to connect together, much more than the physical space. We should be able to relate with one another on another level, spiritual level, where we can give words for one another. So when I see Komi Marvin, it should not always be bring or come. No. I should be able to pronounce prophecies into his life. I should be able to say, oh, man of God, I see you going places. I see you making waves and turning the world upside down for Jesus and doing things that are great. See, if I say that, that is not just praying. No. That is me connecting with him spiritually. I'm nourishing him spiritually. I'm making things happen for him. I'm making him know that his dreams are possible. His future is possible. That destiny that God has created for him is possible. So spirituality is very, very important. Then H is honor. You have to honor one another. Honor is something that is very important. Let me not just talk too much about that. Then I is influence. Influence one another. And then P, guess what it is? It is pray. You have to pray for your friends, believers and unbelievers alike. You have to pray for the people you are relating with. You have to pray for them. Either they are Christians or they are non-Christians. Pray for their goals. Pray for their visions and their dreams and their families and all. Do you know when you pray for people, you open their heart to you? That's what you do. So when anybody comes to meet me and say this person offend me and I'm finding it hard to forgive the person, I tell the person, go and pray for him. You know, if you pray for somebody, it will be easy for you to forgive that person. Yeah. If you pray if you pray for them, you forgive them. All right, let me not. I told Mr. Marvin, I told you I talk too much. But okay, let me keep quiet.
Yeah. Wow, thank you so much. Thank you. It's been an interesting session, and buttressing on what you said about prayer is very important. Also, whoever you want to connect with, whoever you see, no matter the height that person is, no matter how big the person is in the industry, and it seems very far away from you, whoever you want to connect with, the secret is just pray for that person. Just have a moment of prayer. I tell you, there will be a way to connect you and that person. Yeah, it works like magic. It works for me so well. I'm going to share a story how I met Fela Drotoye for the very first time. I knew about him, I think in 2012 or 2013, while I was listening to one of his messages. Someone in the room where I was staying played the message, and I listened, and I was like, wow, who is this person? I've not heard about. I was like, my God, I've not heard someone speak like this. He was speaking to the law school students of University of Lagos. So I heard him, and I was like, my God, who is this? I need to connect with this person. And I was very far away from him now. How can I didn't even know anything about it. That was the first time I went online and searched about it. But I listened to his information, that piece, that message he was preaching. I listened to it more than 100 times, repeatedly, that I know everything he said. And I prayed and I said, God, one day let there be an opportunity for me to meet with Fela Kuti. And guess what? There was an event that was holding in Port Harcourt, I think a year or two later after that time. That was 2016. Yeah. Is that 2015 or 2016? Thank you. No. That was this one is Mega Fest by Kenny, Pastor Kenny and Chibadi. So as I saw that event and I saw the speaker, Fela Drotoye, I said, bam, that is the opportunity for me to meet with him. So I started praying. I said, Father, I want to meet with this man in this event. I want a divine connection, not just seeing him, but let there be a divine connection. And guess what happened? They later put up a notification that those that want to volunteer for that event should come up to volunteer for the event. Bam! I put in my name. I want to volunteer. I want to volunteer for the event. And I was picked for the protocol team of that event. And that was how I joined the protocol. And a day before the main event, I prayed seriously that night. I said, God, if indeed what you've shown me about this man and how that will resonate, his message resonates with me, and there is a connection between the both of us, let there be a divine connection on the day we are going to meet. I don't know if you're still with me.
Yes.
Okay. So on the day of the event, we got to the venue in Port Harcourt there, the Hub Event Center, and I and other of my colleagues that were protocol together. We were just standing at the door there, and before he came in, his assistant, he just drove the car. He just came in, and his assistant left the car and went into the event center, and he was just coming out. We have about 6 protocols at the door, and Fela just came in. As he was coming, all the protocols at the door we greeted him. Welcome, sir. Good afternoon, sir. Welcome, sir. He said, how are you? He said, fine. He looked at all of us, and guess what? He walked straight to myself. He walked straight to me and gave me a handshake and asked me, how are you? I said, I'm fine, sir. I was shocked. out of everybody that was standing at that door, he went straight to me and had a handshake with me. I said, how
It
will
goes
this
back to
ever pass?
spirituality. Those men are very
Wow.
spiritual too.
I'm telling you. And then he walked into the house. Everybody there was looking at me, coming. Marvin, did you know this man before? I said, I don't know him. Yeah. People did not believe. They said I knew him. How will he leave everybody that is standing there that greeted him and went straight to me where I was standing and had a handshake with me and asked me how I was and looked at me for a moment and went. And that was where I knew that prayer is very, very important. No matter how far that person is, no matter where you think you can't reach that person, just have a time to pray and
Yeah.
believe and you meet with him. And later on, my relationship with Fela later increased and we had some time with him. And when I told him this story, one of those days, he was like, wow, that means that when I prayed for him, we got connected in the spirit. And that when he came there, he had no option than to recognize me because we have already connected in the
And
spirit.
reciprocate that
I'm
by
telling you,
connecting back.
yeah. And that relationship have led to so many things in my life today. So prayer is very important. Whoever you wish to connect with, no matter how far that person is, no matter how far you think the person is to you, how you can get to the person is a big person in the industry or whatever, just have a moment to pray for that person. And I tell you, you will certainly connect with them. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, our viewers, for joining us so far. We can see your effect, we can see your likes, we can see your shares, we can see your comments. Do well as well to share this video to your circle of influence and ensure you comment on it as well and share. If you have any question from Mr. Kola Wale, we'll be speaking on leveraging on relationships and network for maximum productivity. So if you have any question for our guests, do well as well to ask the question. So we'll finally come to the end of today's event. So Otobong, over to you as we close the event. Any final words?
Okay. Today has been like very has been an awesome time. I think I've learned so much today about relationships. You actually dissected what relationships mean, what it means as a word. We also talked about the three levels of relationships that we really need to be very particular about: mentors, and then he talked about mentees, and we also talked about mates. I think this is how we can actually learn to actually understand where different persons are placed. We also talked about having circles where we identify how each person is necessary to where we are going to. Ravi Zachariah said something about how do you identify your calling in life. I think I said something about that in one of our sessions previously. And then it was that you need to identify your giftings and where you are going to. You also need to identify the push and the pull. What is pushing you from inside and what is pushing you and pulling you from outside. Then the next thing you also need to know is that when God is calling you towards a particular direction, He'll begin to send people who are relevant to where you're actually going to, because some of them are keys and gates to where you're actually going to. Even I saw something online on recent. I don't know whether it was the scriptures I was reading, but then every prophecy on a person's life requires another person to be activated. Once you enter into the earth of man, the realms of men, Jesus Christ, the Messiah, was born into the world. As he came, then he still needed to pass through a prophet, Prophet Hannah and Simon. They needed to prophesy that possibility into his life. Even when he needed to start ministry, he needed to identify with a man, John the Baptist, who was the forerunner, to institute priesthood on his ministry. And even when he wanted to start, he needed people who were going to carry his ideology. So at each point in time in our lives, wisdom is required for us to actually identify people who are relevant to where we are going to, and then to keep us on course. And then you said something about relationship. That relationship is a source of revenue, and that's very true. People think that revenue is all about money, but there are some doors that money itself can't open. Relationship is a level of revenue on its own. Knowledge is also a level of revenue. That's our education. The fact that you know something and you're very good at what you do, it's a level of this revenue. But there are just some keys that money itself can't open. that we necessarily need relationships. You know, the life of Jesus Christ so impacted a man called Simon of Arimathea that when Jesus Christ died, the man gave his tomb, which he bought with his money, very expensive tomb. He made sure that the body of Jesus Christ was taken care of just because he had a level of relationship with the gift that Jesus Christ was actually giving out. So today I trust that we've been blessed. And then if there's any last words, of course, Mr. Kolawole is currently based in Cyprus, and he's running his PhD program, soon to be full-blown doc. So he has been a blessing today. So, sir, I don't know if there's any last words that you feel people out there need to learn in order to stay on course.
All right. I think the only last word I'm just going to add is for mentors, volunteer for them. I mean, I love the message what Komi mentioned. Volunteer for them. Then for your mates, stay connected with them. Don't just be connected today and you run away. You know.
Tomorrow.
And then for your mentees, be available for them. Be available for them. Let them be able to assess you. Let them be able to. And don't be harsh at them. So, some of us, the way we now relate with mentees, younger people in faith, or in our industry, we relate to them as if we have never made mistakes, as if we never take time to learn. We just want them to get everything. No, Oga, calm down, Joe.
Exactly.
Be available, be able to understand. The Bible talked about how Jesus Christ understand our nature, our form. He says because he knows man. In several places in the Bible, he mentioned that. So you should be able to understand their plight, their level, what they are going through, and don't be too harsh on them, because you break them when you are harsh on them. So for your mentors, be what? Volunteer for them. Give yourself to them for free. Sometimes, if they want to pay you, is okay. But if they are not paying you, some people be like, if you are not paying me, I'm not doing okay. Volunteer, because that's how you learn. If I was writing on my status recently about socialization. When you socialize with them, you're able to learn more. You get that by volunteering. Then for your mate, connect with them. Stay connected. Don't be disconnected. It's just now that I know Komi in Cyprus. So tomorrow that we are no more in Cyprus, you just forget Komi. No. It's not supposed to be that way. Even when distance has taken us apart, we should still be able to do stuff together and relate to one another. And then for your mentees, be available for them. Those are my last words. Thank you very, very much. I really want to appreciate you guys for calling me to speak on your platform. I know our platforms are something very personal to us, and I really appreciate you, and I do not take it for granted. I do not trivialize it, and I want to thank you. I want to thank you very much. Thank you so much for the opportunity, and for everyone who commented and liked our talk. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I wanted to say I love you, but so that you not think I'm saying too much. I appreciate you. All right.
Thank you so much. You've been such a blessing today. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you so much. You really said a lot today, and personally, I have gleaned a lot, and there are a lot of things I need to really put in place, because for every single person who has reached where they are, there's surely something that they've learned to get there, and it has really been a great opportunity. I met Mr. Kumi when I was in my 100 level. He was in his 200 level in the university, and he really inspired me a lot. He founded the Christian Fellowship of Engineering Students on my campus. Before then, I met him when he was trying to go for our departmental presidency, to be the president of my department then. So he was someone on campus who was, when he talked about spirituality, he was balanced. When he talked about academics, he had this, he in fact, all the lecturers, all those course rep people, he was course rep of all the courses. Even for options, he was course rep. He was he served in the department as an executive, that is politically. He was also the president of a fellowship at some point. So being able to negotiate between these political people, maintaining your value as a Christian, was something I really learned a lot. So when it comes to relationship, it's a very valid tool that some of us as Christians, we are not really leveraging. So I'm sure that today, with the wisdom you've given to us, Mr. Omole, we are going to become better at leveraging relationships to get better. So thank you very much. 360 Leadership Network I am privileged to actually have you today.
Thank you
Thank
very
you so
much.
much.
It's awesome to
We really
meet you,
appreciate the
Mr.
time.
Otobong Peter. Thank you.
So I'm looking forward to also connecting from today. So I'll reach out.
Yeah, sure. We
Thank
will.
you. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Definitely,
I
we're going
think
to do stuff more than this.
yeah,
Sure, sure, sure.
we have much more to do together. Thank you so much, sir. I deeply
All right.
appreciate and thank you for your time. Thank you so much.
Thank
We
you.
love you. We
Thank you,
will
Mr.
love you.
Man.
We can say we love you.
I love you
Thank you
too.
very much.
I love you so
Yeah.
plenty.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you very
So
much.
I think
All
we
right,
can
now.
let you go at this point while we'll continue
Okay. So
our
please tell me.
yes. Okay. Wow. Autumn Peter, wow, it's been a blessed
Yeah,
session. Thank
sure,
you
sure,
so much,
sure.
all our
Thank you
viewers,
very
for
much.
being with us up to this time. Indeed, it's been a powerful session. I have learned so much about relationships. You cannot do it alone on the journey of purpose. You cannot do it alone. You need to connect with people, and it's something you must learn. I wonder what
Yeah,
people do with their social media sometimes, because many of the people I've connected with in my lifetime, and Otobon can testify to that,
sure,
is
sure. I'm very
through the
much aware.
social media. Yeah, it's
The
through
same
social.
tools
And
that are available for every single person.
I'm telling you, and God has used those relationships to bless my life so much. I tell you, and have taken me to places I wouldn't have just been, because why? I know how to leverage on relationships. So I said, even on an island, nobody is an
But
island.
it's an
So
island.
you must,
Yeah,
thank
that
you.
was
So you
very
must
true.
learn how to connect with the right set of persons. Very important. The right set of persons. Learn how to connect with them, and together you form a force that will bring your purpose and your destiny to manifestations. We've taken
Yeah.
so much time, and I don't want us to take so much time again. So thank you so much. Otobon, what do we have next, and what's your final words for the people before we close the broadcast?
Well, I think we've actually said a lot. All I can just say is that please keep abreast with our social media handles: 360 Leadership Network on Facebook, 360 Leadership Network on Instagram, and 360 Leadership Network on YouTube. Please keep abreast with the things we are doing. A lot of things will be coming up, a lot of events, a lot of stuff. On this platform, we'll be meeting awesome persons, and it's a journey. I believe that if we follow this series that we are doing from finding purpose and then follow us as we climb the ladder, because we are not just trying to do an event because we just need to do it. We are doing it because
No.
there are other persons that are following us on the journey. So as we are climbing the ladder, you two are also climbing the ladder, because for me it's also a learning opportunity. We are not just dishing out, but we are like bouncing ideas off each other. So I throw it towards you, it bounces off you. As it comes back, it gets better. So I'll just say that everyone, we should try to connect to the river that's flowing here, and then of course we will also be watered in the process.
Exactly. So
Yeah,
thank you so much. I think this brings us to the end of the Finding
sure.
Purpose series, the back series. Next month, certainly we have something very powerful that is coming our way, and
Just watch
we would
the
like to keep it
space.
in the cooler for now. But we have
Watch
something
the
very
space.
powerful coming
Watch
our
the
way.
space.
Yes,
Follow
watch the
all our
space.
handles to stay updated.
Exactly. So thank you all those that have followed us tonight. We can see your comments, we can see your likes, we can see your shares. Thank you so much for being with us up to this last moment of the show. And we say God bless you, and we pray that this has been a blessing to you as you discover, you articulate, and you pursue your purpose. And see you at the top. Thank you so much. Thank you so
All
much.
right.
Thank you so much. If you're
It's been
equally watching the
awesome.
replay, I'd like you to equally comment and share and like the video. Just drop
Sure.
something that will let us know that you were here. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And do have a blessed day wherever you are.
All the best. Take
Thank
care.
you, Otobon.
Thank you, Mr. Kobe Marvin. It's been awesome.
Promise keeper, Lord God, my God, that is who That is who you are. You are here, mending broken hearts. I worship you, yeah. I worship you. You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. Yeah, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, Lord God, my God, that is who you are. Oh, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, Lord, yeah. My God, that is who you are. Nobody like you, Jesus. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, Lord. Oh, my God, that is who you are. That is who you are. Waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, Lord. Oh God, nobody like you, Jesus. That is who you. Yeah, waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, Lord God. You're the same yesterday and forever. My God, that is who you are. You're my healer. You're my savior. Waymaker, my deliverer, Lord, yeah. Light in the darkness, my God, that is who you won't ever change. You're everything to me, Jesus. You walk with me and talk with me. You tell me I am your own. Oh God, and I give you praise in this place today. That is who you are. You are here, touching every heart.